For those of you who don't know me, my name is Colby and I lead the guys' 8th grade small group. I'm super excited to come visit with you today. Last summer, I was able to attend the greatest summer camp of all time, Camp Big Stuff. Sadly, we won't be able to go this year, and I'm bummed because I love this camp. A week at the beach with incredible students and leaders, all focused on one thing: growing their relationship with Jesus. It truly is the best. I remember one conversation in particular that happened on the bus ride back from Big Stuff. I was talking with the student and we were recapping some of the best moments of camp. We talked about the beach, the music, the messages, and about how incredible it all was. As this conversation came to an end, the student looked at me and said, "I can't wait until next year." And I quickly agreed. Looking back on that conversation, I now find it interesting how quick we both were to start looking towards the next new thing, even though we were not even 1 hour removed from this incredible event that was so life-changing. I realize now that we do that. As humans, we have a tendency to experience something incredible, and instead of taking the time to appreciate what has happened, we are quick to look to the next thing. We do this all the time. We could have had the best birthday party ever and are quick to think about where next year's party will be like, or what it will take place, or what the theme will be, and especially who we will or will not invite. We do this with things such as school as well. Even though y'all are about to start a whole new grade, new experiences, I bet most of y'all are already thinking about the next years of school and what they will be like. We rush on to the next thing and rarely stop to remember all the incredible moments that we've experienced. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly doing this with everything that we've had going on the past 2 months. After being locked away, it's only natural that our minds are starting to switch to the next thing, the thing that is exciting us the most, which is summer. I hands down believe that there is nothing better than a Texas summer night. Summer vacation means so many great things: warm weather, all-day cookouts, beautiful swimming pools, and most of all, freedom. With all that awesomeness in front of us, who would want to sit around talking about being quarantined the past few months? Pretty soon, this whole event is going to be a, "Oh yeah, I remember that" type of conversation that you and I will be having around the table someday. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a human thing. We don't sit around and talk about all the agony of learning to write our names in pre-K. No, see, we buried those memories a long time ago, and now we have no trouble writing our names all by ourselves. How cool is that? We don't remember what it was like when we were learning to walk, and we have forgotten all the times that we stumbled and fell down while doing so. Now when we want ice cream, we just stand up and walk to the freezer. Those memories are long gone, and now we don't think twice about them. It's just human nature. However, there is some danger that goes along with moving on from big emotions too quickly. I'll show you what I mean. For the past few weeks, we have been comparing Moses' generation and Joshua's generation as they tried to make it to the promised land in the Old Testament, and the accounts are very similar. They both had the situation of having to cross a large body of water and God stopping the flow so that they could travel safely to the other side. While similar, I want to point out a huge critical difference in these stories. With Moses, they crossed the Red Sea and headed into the wilderness. Almost immediately, the people started grumbling about having to live in tents and not having enough food. Many started thinking about going back to Egypt, where they were slaves. They had forgot all about what God had been doing in their lives and how he miraculously showed up at the Red Sea. Joshua's generation was set to cross the Jordan River. Once again, God stopped the flow of water so they could travel safely. But there's one big difference in this story. We learn in Joshua 4:5-7, each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, "What do these stones mean?" tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. When it was crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever. Once they crossed, Joshua had them gather stones and they made a monument. Why? Why was it so important that Joshua had them stop right then and do that? So when people started to forget all the great things God had done for them, they could point to something and say, remember crossing the Jordan? Remember what he did? Guys, I can relate to this story so much, and I bet you can too. There have been countless times where God has done some amazing things in my life, and I'm quick to start grumbling about what he has yet to do. See, God had them set those stones in place so that way they could easily remember the amazing work that he had done in their life. He did this because he knew as humans, they would be quick to move on, quick to look ahead. He ensured that they had something to remind them of what he had done on that day. Do you have something in your life that you can point to when you need to remember the work that God has done for you? I have several things, but two things I always wear. The first is my cross necklace. My wife got this for me when I was baptized, and it serves as a reminder that Jesus died for me and my sins. The second is this prayer bracelet. I love this because it serves as a reminder that God chose me, and only he can use me to introduce others to Jesus. See, guys, the question is not if God is working in your life, but how are you reminding yourself of what he has done for you? We have to find ways to mark and remember what God has done in our lives. I'd love for us all to share ways God has shown up in the past during small group time today. By remembering those moments in our past, it will help us face the unknown moments in our future. So as you log into groups today, I want you to think about this. What do you remember about the first day you were home from school because of the coronavirus? Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me pray. God, we love you and we praise you. Thank you so much for just the ability to still come together and share your word. We know that when 2 or 3 gather, you are there with us, and we are so grateful for your commitment to our lives. God, I ask that you continue to strengthen us and to point out things that we can use as tools to remember how you've shown up in our lives. We love you and we thank you. In your son's holy name I pray. Amen.